ladies, Cassidy here with Cassidy's Timeless Creations. I've had a few questions on how I bind my paper bag mini journals or mini albums, and I figured it would just be easier to show you guys, especially since it's being talked about in group and about doing one. This will be the easiest way for you guys all to kind of get an idea of how I did Jenny Hef's album for Easter. So the supplies you're going to need paper bags. You can pick up the cheap ones at the dollar store. They also sell them at Hobby Lobby, and they look a little more professional, better quality ones, and you can get them in multiple sizes. So I have these ones, and then I also have this smaller size that I made as well. So I'm just using the dollar store ones for this tutorial. I really like the dollar store ones for some reason. I like the sound of them. Weird, but I like it. You're also going to need a bone folder or something to reinforce your folds. You're going to need some type of hole puncher. You can use a Tim Holtz one or whatever you have. If it has multiple, you can use just a regular hole punch if you want. Whatever works best for you or whatever you have. You're also going to need some type of adhesive because there are some parts that we're going to need to glue down. And then you'll need 2 pieces of sturdy cardstock. This is the cardstock that you can get from Michael's when they have the deal, like 5 or 10 or something like that. So that's where I got these. Very nice sturdy cardstock. And then you're going to need your pattern paper. This paper pack, I want to say I got it from Walmart, and I love the combination of green and purple together. So I picked it up, and I think it is just beautiful. It's called Fresh Linen by Colorbach Paper Plus. But I love it, and it has cut aparts that I can use in this album when I'm completely done. And then you're going to need ribbon or twine or something for the binding. If you watch other videos out there, there are other ways to bind these albums. This is just the way that I found works best for me. But there are other ways to do it if you didn't want to do this way. And you can look those up on YouTube to try and find another way. So what you're going to do first, I have all of my paper pre-measured, and I just do that for the sake of the video. I normally don't have it pre-measured when I'm working, so you can choose to have it ready for you beforehand, or you can just wait and kind of see how your book turns out. I do recommend decorating most of the pages prior to any gluing or hole punching, just because once you add that paper, it's going to affect the thickness of the book and the placement and everything. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing you want to do, so when you take your bags out of their packaging from the store, they're this long, and you have this extra flap here. So the first thing you want to do on all of your bags is glue this flap down. And I just use wet glue. You can use whatever glue you want. I recently discovered this. It's called Elmer's Extreme School Glue, and it's amazing. Like, it works on so many different things. It works on like paper, wood, craft sticks, fabric, ribbon, like you name it. I think I even used it on metal once and it worked. All right, so you wanna glue that flap down and then fold up, and then you want to reinforce that fold with your bone folder or your finger, whatever you have. Just apply some pressure. So let's do that to all of our bags. Let's just do that. And it doesn't need to be perfect because this part of the bag is going to be hidden once we bind it. It just helps because we're going to create a pocket right here, and if sometimes papers and stuff can get caught on there if it's sitting funny. So that's why I do it. It's not a deal breaker if you forget. So and I enforced my folds prior to doing this video just to make the video go a little faster so you guys aren't having to watch me for, you know, like 5 hours. Well, it doesn't take 5 hours, nowhere near 5 hours. But if this video is long, I already glued that one. If the video is long, I'm sorry, but it shouldn't be too bad, especially because I prepped ahead of time. And you'll hear me talk a lot because I don't like silence. And you can choose as many bags as you want. For this album, I chose to use 10 bags, which is going to be a 20-page album when you think front and back. Actually, it's going to be an 18-page album because you got to take away the covers, like the front cover and the back cover. So it'll be an 18-page book, which is a decent-sized mini album, in my opinion. You can get a lot in that. All right, so this was my last bag. So I have those folded together, and I have all of them folded like this. Like so. All right. So then our next step is going to be to apply all of our pattern paper onto the bag. So this step is crucial to do right after all of this so that you can punch your holes after all of it's done. Otherwise, it's just not going to turn out the same. So like I said, I have all of my stuff pre-done. Nope, I lied. That's not our next step. Sorry. It's like midnight or something. Nope, it's almost 11, so my brain is pretty fried. So first thing we want to do is put our covers on. So on one of your bags, you're going to have this little flap, right? And you want that face up. This is going to be our cover. So what we're going to do, we're just going to, I like to make pockets like all over the place. So I'm just going to glue right here. And then I'm going to put this cardstock down. And if you're using a heavier cardstock as your paper, you don't need to do this extra step, but my paper is really thin. I sometimes even use cardboard. I think on Jenny's I used cardboard to make it a little more stiffer. That's not even a word. A little more stiff. And then you want to do your back cover. So your back cover is the same way. It's just going to be this way. And I'm going to make a pocket on there because pockets are awesome in anything. And I like that I can put stuff in it and make it super chunky because I just love things that are chunky. Like Jenny's book was super chunky by the time I was done with it. It was just crazy chunky. Oh man. All right. So that's going to go like that. And then this will be above here. All right, so now our next step is going to be, we need to get all of these bags somewhat put together. So to do that, we're going to glue here. So you want both of these tabs facing each other, like so. And again, it's up to you. You can either glue it completely shut, or you can make a pocket if my glue would work. And again, I'm going to make a pocket like so. So we're going to glue all of our bags together. And you always need an even number of bags too. Don't grab an odd number, otherwise it's just not going to work. You're going to either end up with an extra page, or you're going to end up with either no back cover or no front cover. And you want to make sure that they're lined up back here, because that's crucial when we're putting it together. So that's going to go inside there. And we're going to do it again. And you're going to repeat until all of your bags are put together. Jenny's I did a little different. I glued hers like to the bag to make a pocket like on here, so that I can make a separate section for each of her girls. So, but this is the way I normally do it because I don't know why, I just love me some pockets. And I know I'm talking about pockets a lot, but I don't have anything else to talk about because I'm tired. But I know they're talking about starting a swap with this, and I wanted to put this out there for you ladies as soon as possible for those that are thinking about starting on the project, because it's been talked about. All right, and then the last one. And for your pockets, make sure that you use a wet glue. If you use your tape gun or anything like that, it's going to, or double-sided tape, when you stick stuff in there, it's going to stick to whatever adhesive you used. But wet glue will dry hard and not sticky. So you always want to use the wet glue when making a pocket. Trust me, I learned that one the hard way. I got so many tags stuck in books before. All right, so when you're done with that step, this is what you're going to have. It's going to look like that. So you're going to have your cover. When you open it up, it's going to be just like this. And you have your pocket right here, if you chose to do a pocket. And then your middle pages are all going to look like this. And then, again, you have your pocket in here if you chose to do the pocket. And then your back cover is going to look like this. You got your flat side up. You open it. And see, I glued some of that together. Whoops. All right, so then you have your pocket if you chose to do that, and then your back cover. All right. So that step is done. Now we want to apply our pattern paper. So what I've already done for this size bag, it's 7.5 long after I folded it. So folded, it's 7.5. You don't want to count when it's this long. You want to count when it's this. So it's 7.5 long, 5 wide, and then this little flap in the middle is 5 wide, and then 3 1/8 inch long. So you got to keep that in mind when you're measuring your paper. So I have pre-cut all of my paper. So these are for my small flaps and pockets. And then this is for the rest of my book. So we're just going to start. And I think I'm going to, no, I'll just use this still. Makes life a little easier. And we're just gonna go ahead and start gluing on our paper. You don't need a lot of glue, just enough to hold it. I mean, I used to think that you had to use a lot of glue in order to keep things on, but that's not the case. So I just do around the edges and then a little bit right there. And I don't think I want to start with black. We're going to put that more towards the middle. No, we will do black on the cover. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish gluing all this stuff down. And then I'm going to come back because I don't think you guys want to just sit here and watch me glue things down, because I don't think you guys need instruction on how to do that. So I will be right back as soon as all of this is glued down, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, ladies, I'm back. I am going to have to make this a two-part video because my phone decided that it's going to die in like 2 seconds. So I'm going to end this one now, and then I'll come back and show you the next step to our Paper Bag Mini album.